The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Senate has approved the proposed 2023 budget of the Office of the Vice President. The OVP requested for over 2 billion pesos for next year, including some ½ billion pesos in confidential funds. Only Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel interpolated the budget during deliberations. Pimentel said he will still push for the removal of the OVP's confidential funds during the period of amendments.
I will still maintain, Mr. Chairman, that tayo naman gumawa ng mga definition ng confidential fund. Tayo rin gumawa ng definition ng confidential expenses. Per our own definition, per Congress's own definition of confidential funds, the Office of the Vice President is not entitled or should not be given confidential funds. That is my position.
And at least 2 more typhoons are expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility this month, according to Pag-asa. The State Weather Bureau said these typhoons are very much likely to make landfall. Pag-asa says the expected weather disturbances could enter the PAR in the next 2 weeks. As for now, Pag-asa has not monitored any low-pressure area in and out of the PAR. Pag-asa says the country can expect generally fair weather in the coming days. The Health Department is urging Christmas carolers to keep their face masks on in order to prevent an increased COVID-19 transmission this holiday season. JC Cosico with the details.
After 2 years, children will now be allowed to participate in Christmas carolings. Despite the continuous easing of COVID-19 restrictions, the Health Department advises Christmas carolers to continue wearing face masks.
Alam po natin na high-risk activity ang pagkanta. So, mas maganda siguro kung ang ating mga anak ay mga ngaroling, pagsuotin na lang natin ng mask, kaunting sakripisyo lang naman po yan, voluntary, hindi pinipilit, pero inirerekomenda ng Department of Health.
The DOH reminds the public that the threat of COVID-19 still exists and that the wearing of face masks and ramped-up vaccination will help keep cases low. To boost the country's vaccination rate, the DOH plans to launch a special vaccination program on the first week of December.
I think we really need to just advocate and strategize more para yung mga bawat individual sa ating bansa ay talagang mapaliwanagan natin, mahikayat pa natin para magpabakuna. We are still planning if it's just going to be a 1 day or 3 days affair, pero we are going to meet our local governments already, our regional offices, so that we can plan for this.
In Metro Manila, the one-week COVID-19 positivity rate decreased to 7.5% this week from 8.3%. Other provinces like Batangas, Cavite, Iloilo, Rizal, and South Cotabato have also noticed a decline in their positivity rate. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
One News Now will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. President Bongbong Marcos is back in the Philippines after wrapping up his 4-day trip to Cambodia for the ASEAN Summit. Mian Los Baños with the report.
President Bongbong Marcos is back in the country after what he calls a successful 4-day trip to Cambodia. Joining him at the 40th and 41st ASEAN Summits in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, are First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos and several cabinet officials.
I am pleased to report that my visit to Cambodia for the 40th and 41st ASEAN Summit was successful. Of course, I updated them on what is happening in the country right now, the programs, the policies of our administration.
President Marcos attended several meetings, including the 17th East Asia Summit, where he renewed his call for peace, security, and stability in the South China Sea. He said the disputed waters should be a center point of economic engagements and not an epicenter of armed conflict. State leaders from China, United States, New Zealand, Japan, India, South Korea, and Australia were also present in the meeting.
We must ensure that the South China Sea remains a sea of peace, a sea of security and stability and of prosperity. With the UNCLOS and international law as our bases, the South China Sea will be a nexus of vibrant economic engagements and interactions, not an epicenter of armed conflict or geopolitical maneuverings.
President Marcos also pushed for the immediate approval of a code of conduct in the South China Sea to avoid tension between claimant states. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang said that Beijing is looking forward to working with the Philippines and the ASEAN towards peace and stability in the South China Sea.
I look forward to working with the Philippines to uphold the unity and cooperation between China and ASEAN, and also look forward to working with the Philippines and other countries in ASEAN for peace and stability in the South China Sea on the basis of mutual respect and respect for the DOC and international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS.
President Marcos also met with leaders from Canada, Vietnam, Cambodia, and South Korea. The chief executive also accepted invitations for state visits to China, Vietnam, Brunei, and Thailand. The ASEAN chairmanship has been transferred from Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen to Indonesian President Joko Widodo. This means that the next ASEAN Summit will be hosted by Indonesia. Reporting for News 5, Mian Los Baños, we are One News.
And here is a quick look at today's other top stories. The Highway Patrol Group has started looking for the owner of a high-end vehicle with police markings. A photo of the luxury vehicle with the PNP logo went viral on social media last week. The NCR Police has alerted its units to apprehend the vehicle once it is spotted. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is expected to deliver a 75 basis point rate hike later this week. This move seeks to curb inflation, which soared to a 14-year high of 7.7% in October. And in sports, Gilas Pilipinas swept the fifth window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers with a win over Saudi Arabia, 76-63. This is the third straight win for Gilas, pushing their record to 5-3. The sixth and final window of the qualifiers will be in February. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.